Have you ever felt like you're talking to an AI that has the memory of a goldfish? We're all trying to use these amazing tools, but that feeling of starting the conversation over and over again is a huge barrier. Well, today we are diving into some really cool new research that's trying to fix exactly that, giving AI a memory that actually works.
It's a frustration we've all felt, right? You spend time carefully explaining a project, your goals, what you need, and then just a few prompts later, poof, it's all gone. You have to start from square one. And this isn't just annoying, it's the one big thing holding AI back from being a truly useful partner for anything complex.
So why does this keep happening? Well, the culprit has a technical name, the finite context window. But you can just think of it as the AI's short-term attention span. And honestly, it's surprisingly small. Once a piece of information slips out of that window, it's just gone. Forever.
And because of that limitation, any complex, multi-step task, like planning a big trip or working on a coding project for a few days, it's like hitting the reset button on your conversation every single time. The AI just can't build on what it learned before, which makes it super inefficient, and a lot of the time, not very helpful.
So to fix this, developers have basically tried giving agents two kinds of memory. You've got your short-term memory, or STM. Think of this like the sticky notes you have all over your monitor. They're right there, super fast to look at, but you run out of space real quick. Then you've got long-term memory, or LTM, which is like a giant filing cabinet. It can hold tons of information, but it's slow and kind of clunky to dig through. The real challenge has always been getting these two to actually talk to each other.
Let's take a quick look at how engineers first tried to, basically staple these two memory systems together. And the results? Well, let's just say they were pretty clunky.
Okay, so the first approach was this trigger-based thing. Just imagine a filing system that's on a timer. It only saves documents at 5 p.m., period. It doesn't matter if you have a brilliant, time-sensitive idea at 9 in the morning. Too bad, it's not getting filed away. As you can guess, this was way too rigid, and it missed a ton of important stuff.
So, when that didn't work, the next idea was, hey, let's just hire a separate AI to be a memory manager. But the problem was, the main AI that you're actually talking to still couldn't interact with it. It's like having a librarian in the back room who never ever speaks to the clerk at the front desk. They called these systems loosely coupled, which is just a fancy way of saying they were broken and really, really inefficient.
So yeah, obviously these Frankenstein solutions just weren't cutting it. The core problem was still there. The AI itself had absolutely no control over its own memory.
And that is where things get really interesting. Researchers came up with this unified framework they call Agentic memory, or AgeMem for short. And the idea is so simple, but it's totally revolutionary. What if the AI agent could decide for itself what's important enough to remember, what it should forget, and when it needs to pull up its own memories?
And honestly, this quote just nails it. The breakthrough isn't about building a bigger filing cabinet or faster sticky notes. It's about giving the AI a toolkit and, crucially, the intelligence to actually use that toolkit on its own.
So what's in this new memory toolkit? Let's take a look. AgeMem gives the agent 6 key actions. For its long-term memory, that filing cabinet, it can add new info, update things it already knows, or delete stuff that's obsolete. And for its short-term memory, the sticky notes, it can retrieve important facts from the filing cabinet, summarize a long chat to get the main points, or filter out all the distracting noise. For the first time, it's in complete control.
But, just handing over the keys to the car isn't enough, right? You got to teach it how to drive. So the researchers designed a special training program. They basically sent the AI agent to memory school.
So they put the agent through this really smart 3-stage training program. First up, LTM construction. It learns to figure out what's actually important enough to file away for later. Then, STM control. It learns how to cut through the noise and keep its active memory clean and focused. And finally, the big test, integrated reasoning, where it has to use both memory systems together to solve a really tough problem.
So, the big question is, did the agent graduate with honors? Did all this training actually work? Well, the researchers put the new AgeMem agent head-to-head against a basic AI with no memory system, across 5 really tough challenges. Let's look at the report card. And while the results are, they speak for themselves. The standard agent only managed to succeed about 28% of the time, but the AgeMem agent, with its new memory toolkit, jumped all the way up to almost 42%. That is a massive leap. That's the difference between a tool that's frustrating and one that's genuinely helpful.
Look at that. That's a nearly 50% jump in performance. This isn't just a small improvement. It's a huge step forward in how effective these agents can be.
But here's what's really cool.
It wasn't just about getting more tasks right. The AgeMem agent also built a better quality long-term memory. It actually learned how to save information that was more relevant and useful for the future. It wasn't just working harder, it was working smarter.
And if that wasn't enough, it's also more efficient. Because it learned to summarize and filter its own thoughts, the agent actually used about 5% less data to process. And in the real world, at scale, that's a huge saving in compute costs, which is a massive deal.
Okay, so this is about way more than just a clever bit of research, right? This points toward a future where our conversations with AI are just fundamentally different, fundamentally better.
Think about it. What would it be like to have an assistant that actually remembers you, that knows your preferences from weeks ago without you having to repeat yourself? Imagine an AI that could manage a complex project with you for a whole month and never lose track of a single detail. This is the groundwork for an AI that doesn't just respond, but actually learns and grows with us.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? From tackling huge scientific research projects to creating a tutor that's perfectly tailored to you, what kinds of problems could we solve with an intelligent partner that never ever forgets what truly matters? It's a future that, thanks to work like this, is getting closer every single day.